Welcome to Granny Shift, and I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jason.
And this is minute 30, the big 3-0 of...
Congratulations to Doug Metzler for his... Oh, that's a little too much information, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's try this again. Congratulations to Double Down Doug on the arrival of his fourth baby. He is a patron of ours. So as always, when our patrons have babies, we give them a shout out.
We have every time.
Have we? Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe.
Probably.
So,
and congratulations to Brian from Movies Are Dope.
For
a year anniversary.
A 1-year anniversary as a top tier patron.
Yeah.
And he has earned a $50 gift card among hundreds of dollars of other prizes that he's won.
Yeah.
Including an autographed Paul Walker poster.
Yeah. Don't remind the other patrons how much Brian has won.
Yeah. Well, we had different rules. Yeah, and we had different rules back then.
Yeah, he joined early, so there wasn't much competition at the beginning.
Has anybody not won yet? We give a lot of stuff out.
We do. A couple people I think have not won.
Okay.
So we'll do.
They should try harder.
And we do have our top tier on Patreon is our OnlyFams.
Yeah, that's right. We renamed it. It is now OnlyFams, not to be confused with the semi-popular competitor to Patreon.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, not that.
It's not that. OnlyFams.
OnlyFams.
Like family.
That's right.
Family.
Family's family.
I don't have friends. I have family.
So,
but I didn't come up with that. I can't take credit.
Yeah.
That was one of our other patrons suggested that, and of course.
Who? Give him cred.
Aftershock.
Nice. I like that guy too.
Yeah.
All right. So this minute felt strangely long.
Oh, really?
I enjoyed it, but I was like, we are definitely in the next minute already. And I look, I'm like, no. So
I guess you're right. Yeah.
This race starts with a straightaway, and Sean is winning for the straightaway, and he's proud of himself.
Yeah.
He looks back at DK happy, and DK smiles knowingly, like, he knows something that Sean doesn't.
Right. Exactly.
Like, there might be a corner on this track.
And DK is just like relaxing almost. Like,
right. He's not worried. So if DK was about to have a race, who was he going to race against? Because it's just him and Sean in this.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet the other guy feels left out.
You think it was Han? Nah, he won't race him.
Were the cars already lined up?
I don't know.
Or did they do that after the fact?
Scene change there, so we didn't see that.
Yeah. But when Sean walks up to the car, it's already parked at the starting line.
Yeah, that's true. And warmed up.
This is the very first time Sean has shifted this vehicle.
So there is a song playing. It's Speed by Atari Teenage Riot. Can we listen to this? Oh, we can. Oh, yeah. So it gives you vibes of hecticness. Is that a word?
Chaos?
Chaos vibes.
Yeah.
Excitement, but disorder.
Oh, yeah.
So Sean sees something up ahead as he's racing down this straightaway.
Right. He sees a bunch of idiots standing behind the traffic cones.
Literally a crowd at the end of the straightaway, but there's a couple of traffic cones signaling the end of the straightaway and a turn to the right.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not very clear.
Yeah.
And in this shot, we are how far away? 100 feet?
Sure. About
100 feet.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
I don't know. I'm a terrible judge of distance.
We are, okay, there is what, 1, 2, 3 pillar sections. Each of those is probably 40 feet. So maybe it's 103 times 4, 120 feet.
Right.
So.
To the turn. And they're cruising. We don't get a look at their speedos, but we know that they're cruising.
Yeah. And Sean remembers, grab the e-brake.
Right.
So he grabs the e-brake and rips the wheel left. Is that what he was told to do?
No, he puts his hand over top like he's going to pull it to the right.
Oh, okay.
But the camera goes slightly to the left.
And looks like he's heading to the left. Yeah.
Right.
And he slams on the brakes and turns.
Yeah. Is he doing this right so far?
No. So, like, to initiate a drift, you will actually turn left first.
Okay.
So
Right.
what'll happen is you'll throw your weight that way, and then you cut it back. So say you're gonna come into a right-hand corner and you want to drift it. You're gonna cut to the left real quick and then cut back to the right. And
Okay.
it's a weight initiation. So it
Okay.
kind of throws the weight out, and then you need some way to break the tires loose. So if you do that really aggressively, it can just throw the back end out, or often at that moment you also grab the e-brake or kick or clutch. So he chooses to grab the e-brake and slam on his brakes. And there's some shouting as the crowd runs out of the way.
What would you say is the percentage that you should do of e-brake and regular brake? Like, are you using the actual foot brake the whole time?
So when you're drifting, as a semi-pro, or a amateur, you very, very rarely use the brake. Your car being sideways, letting off the gas slows you down
Right.
because your
Okay.
tires are skidding like they'd be if they were locked up.
Right.
Um,
So you're having to overcome the skidding tires, and your e-brake is there for control.
your e-brake. So if you want to add angle to the car, there's two ways you can do it. Is to increase your tire speed by adding gas. So that'll increase the speed of the vehicle and add angle. And if you want to increase the angle of the car but decrease the speed of the vehicle, pulling the e-brake does the same thing.
Okay.
If you want to take less angle out of the vehicle, you let off the gas and let the wheel try to match the speed of the road under you, and it'll try to straighten the vehicle
Right.
back out.
Like you're gaining more traction when you let
Right.
off the gas.
And that's how you slow down too.
Um,
Is this getting too technical?
Not for me. How
Good.
similar is Sean's first turn to your first turn drifting?
Oh man, my first drift.
Because he's like way out of bounds.
You might have been with me. Do you remember we did some drifting on Need for Speed, and it was raining, and then we went and got in my Supra and we went down to the church parking lot?
Christ the King. Yep.
But they had
a nice little
freshly
nice little figure eight there.
Well, there's two churches. The first one we went to had brand new blacktop, and we couldn't get it to drift. It would just spin like one tire because it was like viscous LSD. And then we went to the other one, and it was like real slippery, and I was just spinning out a bunch.
Wait, this was in which vehicle?
The black Supra.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was remembering in my head.
Yeah.
The Mark III.
Yep.
2. Mark III.
3. Yeah. But
yeah, he takes it sideways. He goes way out of bounds and
takes out a couple cones, which really isn't too bad. Like if he's hitting a couple cones and turning, he only went a couple feet too far.
Right.
And then
he was just a little late on the draw there.
He slammed sideways into a parking garage column.
That's rough.
Breaks the passenger window.
Yeah. And that door is messed up.
And Bow Wow's like, oh man, there
everyone
did it.
Goes, oh. And it is interesting that the song says the word destroy right when he hits that.
Right. How do you think they tried that?
Yeah, for sure.
And DK is now coming up to the corner and looks quite pleased that his opponent has wrecked.
I knew this was going to happen. That's what he's thinking.
So he grabs his e-brake, turns, and smoothly drifts around the corner.
So he's not holding his e-brake up.
No, you don't usually hold it. You usually grab it just to initiate it, and then like you'll see him like almost like pumping it to try to modulate that.
Okay.
But often, like they're just using it for initiation. So they're just using it to get the back end out. Once it's out, they're switching to the gas to control the drift with the gas.
My other question is, if these guys are serious about drifting, would they be drifting these cars? Like when I watch like Jim Kahana, his e-brake is like way up, like close to his head height, know? And he's like, it's like spring loaded where it doesn't lock. You just pull it back.
Right.
And you let go and it goes back automatically.
Right.
But this looks like normal.
So that's a hydro e-brake, which they didn't really become popular until like maybe 2010. They actually put a master cylinder in the vehicle, and they run a second caliper and brake pads on the rotor. So you'll have two sets, one connected to your pedal and one connected to your handbrake.
Interesting. Okay.
So it works a lot better than using a cable, which is often like a drum shoe or whatever.
Right.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's newer technology. These cars wouldn't have had that. So
Nowadays, the cars you can't even drift in because they have like
the electric e-brakes.
little buttons that you push.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of modifications to
I
drift
always
those
I always
cars.
thought that was strange. Like, isn't the whole point that you have a mechanical brake that's not
Right.
connected to like
That way,
electronics and stuff? So if
right.
you're in an emergency, it's mechanical, so it still works.
Right. That's what I thought too.
But instead, you have a brake that's hooked to your battery. If your battery dies or something, then while you're driving, that could happen.
It's just
right?
a lot of hassle because now even
Guess
to
that
do
could
like
happen.
simple brake jobs, you have to totally deactivate that whole system, and every manufacturer
Oh,
does that
man.
differently through the
Right.
menus or through a scan tool or whatever. People are like, "Why is my brake job so expensive?" I'm like, "Because you have a stupid car."
a
I mean, a really
Volkswagen.
smart car, but like Fords do it now and Chevys do it now, and like
Man.
it's
Toyotas?
the $180 brake job is gone now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Toyotas do it?
No, we'll just say no. I don't remember, but
Is
I
that
know Fords
yeah.
and Chevys and Volkswagens and Audis. But
Hmm.
Audis don't even have dipsticks anymore.
Interesting. Yeah, my Corvette didn't.
Oh, really? You had to like
2005. I'm like, yeah, you had to go through like a little computer in the center
Yes.
console and let it load,
right,
and then it'll tell you your oil
right.
level.
You have to wait till it's warm enough before it'll
Yeah.
even register. All right, so he is like the Nissan
Mm-hmm.
is or the DK is way behind. Look at this picture.
Yeah, he's not close,
Yeah, so he was cruising pretty easy earlier.
but he's smoking the tires real good coming. In fact, the smoke looks fake if you look at where it came out of the car.
It
It's
probably
like a
was.
smoke machine halfway up the car.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So he
Wow.
he's close to that pillar.
Yeah, he gets 4 inches away from the inner pillar.
And he's on the right-hand side, and so is Sean. But, like, as he's drifting by well, I guess he's past him now. Like, so you see DK's self
Yeah.
as he's drifting by, and it
Mhm.
looks like and then they show Sean, and it looks like Sean is watching him drift by him
Right.
as DK is, like, looking at him like, "You're so dumb."
Yeah, but that wouldn't work, would
But
it?
none of these angles match
Yeah,
up.
like if he's looking to his right, he's looking out ahead in the opposite direction of where
Right.
Sean's at.
Yeah.
Unless he's so far around, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're right. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't work.
But I will say the sounds in this minute
Mm.
reminded me so much of how the cars sounded in Need for Speed
Oh,
when you're
yes.
racing.
Yeah.
Just the sounds of the engine, just that, and then the shifting.
So, a while ago, or for Christmas, I bought Denver a DS, Nintendo DS, an old like Game Boy thingy.
Right.
And a guy at work today was selling one, another one with a bunch of games. And I was like, oh, I'll see if I can get this one from him too, because it's got all these games. And so I bought it from him for way cheaper than I bought the other one for.
Dang.
And it came with Need for Speed Underground 2
Oh, nice.
to play. And I popped it in and I'm like, oh, this is horrible. This
Oh, really?
is horrible. Yeah.
Like not as good as the PS2 version
Yeah, I think probably
because
not.
it was dumbed down for Game Boy.
Yeah. And I just went in quick. I just said like quick game and just like it like throws you into a random race. And I was like, it was a drag race against nobody else. And so it just wasn't really like maybe if I played through the
You weren't
campaign,
into
I
it.
would like it. But yeah.
You weren't into it.
No.
All right.
All right. So
Sean's mad. He slaps his steering wheel and then puts it in gear and takes off.
pretty quickly.
And everybody's like, whoa, oh, he's still going. And they're like, we need to run to the next part of the parking garage to see this race.
There's no way they would make it there in time. There might be one elevator in a parking garage, right?
Yeah.
And everybody except
Maybe
Han.
2. I feel like there's always 2 side by side.
Han
There's
doesn't-
also stairs.
right. Han doesn't care about what's happening. Oh, thank you.
You dropped your wedding band.
Thank you.
All right. Oh my goodness.
So we get some footage
That's
being
great.
recorded on some flip phones,
Yeah.
which this must have just been coming out, like this type of thing, because they focus on these flip phones for video footage pretty heavily in this movie, especially the last 15 minutes.
I don't remember. I didn't see it yet.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while as well. All right, so Sean's desperately trying to catch up, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm out of my element."
And he is. It's sort of hilarious because DK is now doing what's called a manji, which is on a straightaway. You drift from side to side of the straightaway. So
Okay.
you maintain drift, but it's a straightaway. So you're just going from side to side of the track, just kicking the back out and out. And it's not fast. It's just a way to
Right.
keep your drift going. Sean is not drifting. He's following him, but not going straight either. He's
Right.
just like swerving back and forth right behind him.
Just driving behind him.
And this is sort of strange because normally drifting isn't a race.
Right. Not a who gets to the finish line first type of race.
Right, because drifting isn't the fastest way. I mean,
No.
you're going fast, but it's not the fastest way.
But it keeps the tofu from spilling.
Yes, it's smooth around the corners.
Right.
I don't know, something like that. I never understood that.
All right, so they're trying to get to.
Yeah, this is weird.
So they're
I
showing
see.
the people loading to the elevator, and Morimoto is not letting certain people onto the elevator, and he's letting other people on.
So who just ran up? Is that
Just some random chick.
Oh, it's not DK's girlfriend.
No.
But he gives her a look like, I guess you can get on.
No, he doesn't let her on. He lets Neela on instead.
Oh, he didn't let her on. And they closed the door, and I guess they're going up a level.
But
DK goes drifting by, shifting.
You think the people on the next floor already know what's going on? Were they there for the whole thing?
Oh, yeah. They're like, oh, we want to get a good spot. The race ends here.
Why wouldn't you just go straight to the finish?
Sometimes it's the journey that's really matters.
I think I cross-stitched that one time.
Look how hard this 350 is leaning, too. The suspension's so soft. It actually looks low on this side, but you can see the other side's like up really high.
I do just feel that like these are just normal street cars, and like if they were into drifting this serious, that they would be more of a drift car.
What makes this not a drift car to you?
Do you drift with really low profile tires?
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Yeah, they're cheaper. Well, it's not so much that they're cheaper. You need it to look good, but you often stretch your tires. So the smaller the tire, the cheaper it is, right? Generally.
No.
You're talking the profile.
The lower profile tires, the more expensive they are.
I guess if you get really okay, what I found is like a 225/40 is a really cheap tire because it's a common size.
Okay.
That's probably a 40 sidewall, right? That theory works for stretching tires. So you get a 10-inch wide wheel. Instead of putting a 285 on it, you put a 235.
Right.
And stretch it, save you some money. And you can still spin it when you don't have much power.
So I thought that there would be less interior. I thought that would invest in those tie rod ends where like the wheel can almost turn 90 degrees from the car.
Right.
I would have thought that he would have had like a different e-brake setup, not just a normal e-brake.
So like
these are the types of things I would expect out of someone who drifts seriously.
Angle kits didn't really even exist until years after this.
Man.
This was really new at the time. And I think this was still a time when drifting was all about showing off instead of the competition. So like having a car that was stripped down inside wasn't that cool. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
It's the same thing. If you're into drag racing, you're still gonna get like slicks on the back. You're still gonna like get everything out of the car that you can to make it lighter. But in the Fast and the Furious, they've got sound systems in the back. Right. They've got their stock wheels or aftermarket wheels.
Mona Lisa has like sheet metal door panels. That's like a race car inside.
Those weren't the door panels.
No, like aluminum sheets and the doors.
I wasn't paying close enough attention. We should watch these slower, maybe.
Oh yeah, break it down.
Man,
10 seconds. Okay. Finish it. We're done.
That's it for minute 30.
And thanks for listening.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jason.
Always remember,
winning's winning.